Car chases are dangerous and unpredictable. Viewer discretion advised.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Juan Fernandez along with Sandra Mitchell coming to you live from the KCAL 9 News studios with breaking news.
Yeah, Sheriff's Department pursuit right now. Look at this guy in the white pickup truck going very fast on surface streets. Let's get right up to Stu Mundell. Wrong side of the road, Stu?
Whoa. Wrong side of the road, extremely high speeds, a lot of traffic out here. This guy has been in these neighborhoods, the smaller neighborhoods. He's been on big streets, 80 miles an hour at one point on the freeway. Now, the Sheriff's Department, they're the ones that are handling this, and they have a very, very, let's just say, tender idea about pursuits. They don't do the pit maneuver, and when they do get any kind of dangerous, they always kind of back off. But this suspect, driving so recklessly continually out here, this pursuit's been staying on. And they have a helicopter overhead. Now, there's black and whites, the ground units, the cruisers are very, very close by, but they are basically at a distance trying to give this guy a little bit of room, but it's not making much of a difference. The speeds have stayed about the same. The driving has been very erratic. He gets into these. This is on Birchley, coming back onto Slauson. There's Slauson. You can see one of those black and whites that I was telling you about. They've been basically keeping their distance. You can see that right there. Look at that hard turn, swinging that big truck around. Looks like a full-size Chevy, probably about a 2002. We're working on the want. We don't know what the original reason this whole thing started was, but we can tell you with this kind of driving, this driver does not want to go into custody, and it seems like he's taking every chance to keep from getting taken into custody.
Stu, can you tell us what part of town this is in, where this is going down right now?
Well, we keep coming back onto Slauson. He's on the wrong way on Slauson, going back into that same neighborhood. You got a pedestrian right there. This is going to be over, but very close to the Commerce Casino area, very close to the 5 freeway as well. This time right now, he's in that same type of neighborhood, but he's a little on a different street. Don't know if this is something where he's trying to find an area to maybe jump out that he's familiar with. Right now, we're working with Sky 9. The pilot today is going to be Timmy. He's basically right below us there. We're going to keep this wider shot just till he gets out from underneath us. But it gives you an idea what the PD helicopter is going to be seeing, or the sheriff's helicopter this afternoon, because that's kind of his view. Right now, though, it's going to be basically in an industrial area. We'll get you some of these smaller street names here in just a moment, but extremely high speed. Sheriff's Department handling this pursuit, and this car continuing to try to elude the officers, the deputies. Another dead end. Now, this is not the first time he's been in a dead end, and it makes it very dangerous because there you go. And you can see the number of officers, the deputies there that are all around him and just really going by him, zipping by those guys and picking up speed. We know that this is a very, very tight road, and look at the number of deputies in the area. You know, if he would have made contact with any of those deputies' vehicles, this thing would have turned into something very different. But right now, this type of desperation, this type of high speed, and this type of disregard for safety of the public makes this guy an extreme menace to anybody out here on the road. Right now, back out on the Slauson Commerce area, extremely high speeds. At least he's on the right side of the road. Back on the wrong side of the road. Another deputy right there. The deputies are trying to basically out here in force, trying to keep the civilians safe out here. Lights and sirens letting them know that something's going on. 60 miles an hour, wrong side of the road, high speeds, hard on the brakes as he's passing these people. You just got to think, what are these guys, you're driving on the road, doing the speed limit, and there you got this full-size pickup truck barreling down on you. It must be some kind of scary for those people just driving out here today.
This is so dangerous.
So dangerous, Sandra. And it looks like he's hugging the lane here. Maybe he's going to make a turn, but you got to know that's the slow lane. High speeds. I'm going to get a little bit wider so you guys can see what's coming up. Take a look at that. He's still on Slauson, wrong side of the road, extremely high speeds, and he has the opportunity to get back over. And just kind of picking that. And coming back onto the 605 freeway, 60 miles an hour on Slauson this afternoon. Just hair-raising, extremely scary. I am so worried that somebody innocent is going to get hurt in this chase. This is crazy out here this afternoon.
And Stu, we've been wondering about Want. This does look like somebody's work truck. We're just getting word now from our newsroom that this is a stolen vehicle and that the driver of this truck right now could be armed. So a very dangerous situation, and here he is now coming into some heavier traffic. And anybody who goes around the Commerce Casino at any time of day, you know, when you're heading south on the 5 freeway, traffic is always so heavy there. So I'm sure he's going to come across some of that heavier traffic at some point.
Well, you know, it's so amazing that, you know, when he was on the wrong side of the road, there was a lot of traffic. We were staying a little bit tighter there just to keep an eye on what was going on, but there is a lot of traffic. Right now, he's going with traffic, and it seems a little bit lighter, but earlier on, there were a lot of people heading back towards the city. Right now, at these high speeds, we're basically working our way back into the Whittier area here off of Slauson. You know, stolen vehicle, Juan, Sandra, I mean, you know, I got nothing against a pickup truck. I love pickup trucks, but why would you risk so much for that? And then for him being armed, you know, if he would just slow down, do what he needs to do, this could come to an end very peacefully. Right now, though, you can kind of see it. I'm going to play a little game there. We made a hard turn, basically weaving up, going Slauson through Norwalk right there, and the chase just continues out here. Now we know it's a stolen vehicle. It just kind of, you just got to wonder what are these people thinking? So high speeds, you know, he could possibly hurt himself. More importantly, or more something that I'm thinking about, hurting somebody else. Another big intersection right there, making a hard turn. We'll get that street name, but it looks like we're getting back into another industrial area out here. The Sheriff's Department, their deputies, they're behind him, but they are at a distance. They want to take this guy into custody. The airship, the helicopter from the Sheriff's Department, that's their biggest tool right now. They're out here, they're calling out the streets, they're telling the officers their deputies where this guy is. And basically that's the plan, is they're going to swarm this. Right now they're going to run the plates on this vehicle. If this vehicle's stolen, it's not going to make any difference, but basically right now we're hearing that even the helicopter is, they want to just, their hands off. The Sheriff's Department right now probably is one of the watch commanders watching on television. Hopefully he was watching us and making that decision because of the high speeds, because of the danger to the public. They're just backing off right now. The helicopter has even left the area, guys.
Yeah, I was wondering about that, Stu. I mean, he's in a very heavy vehicle. We think that he has a weapon. The vehicle is reported as stolen, so obviously he doesn't care if he damages it. And we can tell by the way he's driving, he doesn't care about anybody else who's out on the roads either.
It's not about what you say, it's about what you do. And this guy, he is showing that he does not care. And that's what makes this pursuit so dangerous. In the Sheriff's Department, they have to play that game. They have to weigh the odds. And right now, the watch commander, he's saying, or she, you know, that the person in authority there is saying, you know, we're going to back off. We are going to back off. The helicopter's not going to follow them. We're not going to have ground units, and we're just going to, basically keep an eye on it, probably through the media. But you can see this person's slowing down a little bit. At least he's not on the wrong side of the road right now. But a very unusual situation indeed. If this is a stolen vehicle, the plates, it's not going to bring you back to the registered owner, but they're deciding that the danger to the public outweighs the want for this driver. So right now, it's just we're just watching, and I can tell you that too, is we are up high enough that this driver right now, he does not know we're watching him. He definitely is not going to hear us. So right now, this guy is just kind of on his own. If he works his way into another jurisdiction, perhaps in the Whittier area, but right now, the Sheriff's Department has basically hands off and is just letting this guy go as he's just kind of pushing his way here. I wonder if he made contact with that. He definitely made contact now. Yeah. I'd be pretty pissed about that. But just made a little contact right there, making a turn. We'll get you some street names, and we're going to follow along as long as our bosses say that our watch commanders are saying that we can keep an eye on this guy.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, Stu, he doesn't know you're up there, so actually doing his service and helping out the Sheriff's Department, keeping track of this guy. It looks like he's slowed down a little bit, but still, he's kind of all over the place, taking some of those curves pretty fast, and it looks like he's still running red lights.
running red lights. He's using that center divider. He's kind of leaning over in there. We're making a turn right now onto Lambert. So we're definitely going to be in the Whittier area. The driver, basically, he has slowed down. Where is he going to go? What's he going to do? That's kind of a hard turn right there. Working our way into a residential neighborhood right there. Maybe this is going to be where he's going to dump the truck and run. Then it might change. Things might change up a little bit. The Sheriff's Department might make his way back into this area. Thank goodness, though, he hasn't hit anybody. And, this is, one of the first times we're actually looking in the passenger side there. He seems to be by himself. So, and there was some talk that possibly he dropped somebody off earlier on. We got to get that information from from our assignment desk. They're probably talking to somebody from the Sheriff's Department. But we had information that there was a passenger, a female passenger, that may have been dropped off earlier on. Right now, though, he's working his way back onto some bigger streets. He still seems to be running. We make that joke, he's running from his own demons because nobody's chasing him right now. He's just out here making these crazy turns. We saw he made that turn onto Palmer out here in the Whittier area. But speeds have definitely slowed down, but the driving's still very erratic.
So, Stu, what you're saying is the sheriff deputies have pulled away, so technically we're the only ones watching him at this point, or are they watching him from a distance? What are they doing?
Well, as far as we know, the official word from the watch commander from the Sheriff's Department was to tell the helicopter, back off. Would just leave it alone. And as far as I know, according to my pilot Tim this afternoon, the actual helicopter has departed the area. So the Sheriff's Department helicopter has flown off. The guys on the ground, they were told not to follow anymore.
Oh, look at
Going
this.
across the center divider right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, just, and back out onto Whittier Boulevard. Now, he was on Whittier earlier on. This seems to be an area that where this thing started, like in this general area. So maybe he's going back to where this thing started. But as far as law enforcement, as far as the deputies right now, because of the danger to the public, because of they're basically, they have to weigh it. I mean, the danger to the public, how badly do they want this guy? And with that kind of crazy driving, they decided that this time they're going to back off. Now, is a watch commander watching? It was maybe on Channel 9 this afternoon. If you are, welcome, thank you. But it's hard to tell. They are going to keep an eye on it somehow. I'm sure if it crashes, they will be here in a heartbeat. I can almost guarantee you that. But right now, you got the guy basically. Looks like he's on the phone down there, and he's just continuing on. We're on Whittier Boulevard. Looks like we're headed eastbound-ish right now. If you know the area, it kind of goes a little bit to the north, but he's just driving right now, and it does seem to have worked. At least this guy has calmed down for the moment. But we've seen him get a little crazy again just out of the blue. So we're going to keep an eye on him and see where this goes. Right now, he's just a pickup truck. I'm going to go real wide to show you. There is no law enforcement behind him. He's just another car on the road this afternoon, but possibly armed and dangerous. And now, on the wrong side of the road. As soon as I said it, there you go. And you just got to wonder, all these people driving right there, I know, I'm just watching and I'm getting that cold chill. You just got to think when these people are driving, the blood's probably just running out of their hands going, what is this guy doing? Right now, though, making another turn onto a smaller street out here. Looks a little residential, even more residential now as we're getting in where there's just homes. Going to keep an eye on it. If the guy does jump out and run, we'll get you an address. We'll get you a street right away.
So, Stu, just to give our viewers perspective, we know that the sheriff's chopper has already moved away. How far are you actually? Oh, it looks like he's going to stop right here in front of this house. And he's backing
either
out.
that or he's going to make a U-turn right there, yeah. Maybe this was the wrong street. Looks like he's just making a little bit of a U-turn there. Right now, it's just like any chain of command. Their boss said, back off. And they did. The helicopter left. Sometimes the helicopter will stay, maybe not call it out the streets, but will stay in the area. In this case, the sheriff's helicopter this afternoon has gone off to another call. The units on the ground, they don't have any idea where this guy is, so they have basically gone back to their patrol. And right now, he's just this guy running stop signs, a little bit slower out here, definitely in the Whittier area. Technically, if you are from Whittier, this is the Michigan Park area, but he's just driving along out here on these streets, and as long as he doesn't collide with anybody or jump out, we're just going to keep following him. But the sheriff's department right now, the deputies, they do as they're told. They have to follow rules, just like everybody else, and they have backed off, and they are all back to what they were doing. If this turns into a pursuit again, I'm sure we'll see other deputies or other law enforcement make their way over here. Right now, though, we're on a very residential street, Michigan Park area, and we're working our way northbound. But right now it's just another pickup truck driving along out here, just blending into traffic.
What's so interesting, Stu, we're watching this unfold. We think that he thinks he's in the clear and he's gotten away with it, but then he does these crazy erratic moves, runs stop signs, goes on the wrong side of the street. So you can only imagine what he's thinking.
You know, Juan, it's that old joke. I'll say it again. I'm just the guy in the back of a helicopter. I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist. But you know, sometimes these guys they might just be wanting that 5 minutes of fame. They might just maybe he's just had a really bad day and he was angry and he was blowing off some steam. We just don't know. Right now, he seems to be a little bit more calm about his driving. He just made a little sharp turn there. Now we're working our way southbound. We're very close. The major that was coming up would have been Colima Road. I was going to call that out. So right now we're on a smaller road, basically just west of Colima, heading southbound. But it's a very, this neighborhood out here, very nice, large homes. It's very residential, but we're working our way south again, and you can see him picking up a little bit of speed. But I can assure you, there's no law enforcement around him right now. There's no officers on the ground there. That low-flying sheriff's helicopter isn't even anywhere around here. But this guy, it seems like he's picking up some speed again, staying out here on these residential streets. What this guy's thinking, gosh, I have no idea. I don't even want to guess because you know you're going to be wrong. But right now, it's, you know, he's just running stop signs. Hopefully he doesn't collide with anybody, and hopefully he's just going to park the truck and run off, and maybe officers will take this guy into custody. But wrong side of the road, kind of weaving out there, and it's a sharp turn, and you got cars coming the other way. It's still a little hair-raising, a lot less than before. Wrong side of the road on a blind curve again. So we're going to keep an eye on him. There's no doubt about that. Where he's going, we don't know right now. Are they going to re-engage? That one, I'm leaving that to the paid professionals. Continuing out here, making another sharp turn. He seems like he's staying off the majors, which is interesting in itself. You got some pedestrians, but at least he's not close to the curb. At least he's not doing that 80 miles an hour down residential streets anymore. Yeah,
it looked like some kids may be coming home from school. It's about that time of the afternoon, and that's probably one of the contributing factors. Sheriff's departments know this is just too dangerous for anybody who's out on the roads or out on the streets this afternoon. Right side of your screen, we're going to show you some of these highlights from earlier, this erratic driving. White pickup truck. It is reported stolen. Sheriff's department was in pursuit, but things just got too crazy, too dangerous, and they have now pulled back. We've still got Stu Mundell overhead, but this guy's been up and over the median, close to the sidewalk, running red lights, running stop signs, and wrong side of the road, both live and earlier.
Yeah, and here he is on Colima. That's a major road out here. Looks like he's going back into another smaller road. But, you know, that's the thing. We've been discussing that out here in Southern California. The pursuit, I dare I say it, it almost comes to a culture, and it's something that seems to be very uniquely for Southern California. And there's been a lot of talk about pursuits and what they should do and how they should do it, and everybody wants to weigh in, and they say we shouldn't televise them and we're just giving these guys their 5 minutes of fame. But a lot of times this is I like to think that we're keeping an eye on it because we're trying to warn the public, and that's what also law enforcement does. Yes, they're chasing that guy, but the other officers that are in the area are warning the public, and that's their job, to keep people safe. So if this guy drives so erratic that they back off because they don't want to get involved in some sort of legal action, I mean, is that warranted? You know, that's where it gets very, very complicated. It's that's an issue for something entirely that's not breaking news. It's like a Dave Bryant type of piece because it gets very political and it gets very deep. But for us, we just watch them, we call it out, we see what we see, we try to get the locations the best we can. And when it gets crazy dangerous like that, of course, we are hoping that if there's anybody that is friends, family in the neighborhood, we want them to say, you know, oh my gosh, my kids are playing on that street. Get them off the road. Right now, though, this is an unusual situation. The law enforcement totally is backed off. This guy's just kind of trolling around now. Alleyways, just basically, you know, the one thing, Juan and Sandra, that I've seen, he has not stopped. This vehicle really has not come to a stop yet. He just keeps this thing rolling. Even when there's nobody around at a stop sign, he's just keeping it rolling. So, you know, what's his plan? I don't know. Where's this going to go? Hopefully, I'm that guy. I'm hoping that I'm rooting for the officers. I ran through another red light there, just kind of trolled right through it. But hopefully this guy's going to go into custody. And if it is stolen vehicle, which we understand it is, hopefully that guy's going to get his truck back with no damage. Right now, though, nobody's been injured. Huge plus. Law enforcement, they're playing the tactics right now. And so we're watching. And we're hopeful that this is going to work out, and we're going to get positive checks in all the right boxes.
Now, Stu, $1 million question. You recently did some pursuit training, and I'm wondering, if nobody's chasing you, is this a pursuit? What are we looking at?
You know, that Sandra, you know, that's the thing. It makes it so odd for me up here, because really, truly, this is a stolen vehicle driving erratically through the Whittier area. Yeah. On a sidewalk going across some train tracks. This is not a pursuit, and that's and I think that's one of the areas that the officers have to look at. If this guy, you know, I'm not going to use any kind of adjective for the driver, but if he gets into an accident right now, he's just a guy in a stolen vehicle that gets into an accident. But that's kind of the balls that the law enforcement have to juggle. Mm-hmm. Because if it is a pursuit, then it's something entirely different, and then there's legal this and legal that, and that's the world we live in. I'm just the guy reporting it. I have no say either way. Yeah. But that's kind of what they're balancing out there. It's one of the things, and they're trying to keep the public safe. That's their number one priority. And they're hopeful that, you know, because they backed off, well, okay, look, he's driving on some sidewalks, he's running some red lights, he's getting really close to cars, but he's not doing 80 anymore. So maybe if he crashes into somebody, it's just going to be property damage. But that's the deal, and that's what's happening. It's not a pursuit, though. I would put my vote, not a pursuit, just a guy in a stolen vehicle driving erratically.
Yeah, but obviously by now, Stu, he knows it's not a pursuit, right? He has to have noticed, because we saw all kinds of sheriff's deputies' cars out there at the start of this.
Yeah, Sandra, yeah, definitely. And that's the thing, is he has not stopped moving. This person, again, not a psychiatrist or psychologist, he has not stopped moving. This vehicle has not stopped. So I'm thinking in his mind, he's trying to get away. What's he getting away from? I have no idea. But it does seem like he is trying to get away, and he has not stopped moving. This thing just keeps on rolling. And we're out on another major street out here. I would guess, I'm just guessing right now, that, I'm sorry, I'm trying to read the map, but we're coming up on Imperial Highway. If it makes a turn on Imperial, we'll get you a correct direction. But he's basically the speed limit, but you can see it. Running every red light, using the wrong side of the road when he can. But this truck not stopped yet. And that's, I think, is interesting in itself.
And the good thing about this, it is a big enough vehicle, Stu, that at least people can see him coming. If he is going to blow a stop sign or a traffic light, you see something of a significant size that you maybe stop and pull over, or just not go through the intersection.
You know, if I was in my car and I saw that coming at me, not stopping, I'd be panicked. I'll tell you that. Right now we're in the East Whittier area, maybe right at the border of La Mirada. Using that left turn lane, my money is not going to make a left turn. There he goes again, and he's just continuing on. We're moving southbound. I can tell you, we've gone through Imperial Highway. I was hoping he was going to make a turn on that, but he hasn't. Just continuing on southbound out here, and you can see the other cars on the road. He's not really speeding, but he's not stopping for any kind of controlled intersection at all. He's just keeping that truck rolling. Maybe maybe this guy, maybe the truck's going to stall. Maybe he's thinking that if he actually comes to a stop, the thing's going to stop running and he's going to get stuck. Right now, though, it's just basically a watch and see. Was a crazy pursuit earlier on. Right now, this is not a pursuit. This is not a following. As far as law enforcement is concerned, this is just another car on the road right now. He's not speeding. He's definitely, just in the time we've been talking since the chase part has come to an end, he has really calmed down as far as the driver goes. Right now you can see that he's on that tree-lined road. We're going to move the Sky 9 around here a little bit, try to get a better shot. Coming up on Alicia right now, that's going to be the next major cross, and we're going to be on... I'm sorry, I can't get the name of the street, but he's continuing southbound right now, and I can tell you if we're going to be basically East Whittier area, and we're continuing south.
Yeah, and it looks like he's moving right along with the flow of traffic right now. He's not weaving in or out. He's just maintaining his lane, maintaining speed. And as you said, Stu, it looks like he's just blending right in with the traffic. But then every once in a while, somebody gets in his way. You'll see him kind of jerk that truck around. He's been running red lights even since the pursuit part of this ended.
You definitely. I was just talking with Tim. We're moving around out here. We're trying to get the best shot we can for you guys. But yeah, definitely. It seems like you're 100%, Sandra. If something gets in his way, that's when he starts getting a little bit crazy. He wants to keep moving. He hasn't slowed down. He's slowed down in speed, but he has never come to a complete stop. Using that left turn lane again and not making that left turn, just kind of blended. Now he's on the wrong side of the road out here as we continue on southbound. He just keeps driving. That's the thing. It seems like he is running from something. He's got to know there is no law enforcement behind him. There isn't any law enforcement behind him this afternoon. It was a full-on chase. Stolen vehicle, that's what we understand. Possibly armed. It just kind of makes you wonder. I'm wondering also right now if we are not on Beach Boulevard. I got to get, maybe somebody from the desk can get me a confirmation or a denial, but we might be on Beach Boulevard right now. We're working our way back to a major freeway. If he keeps up this direction southbound, we're going to be back onto the 5 here momentarily. We'll be in the Fullerton area, which the only reason I bring that up is they have their own police department. So if they're watching, if they're keeping an eye on this and they know where this is and they have a different take on it, they might want to try to bring this to an end. Making a turn right now back over to the west, so we're not going to be going to the 5 freeway. And we're going to continue on here, and we'll get you some streets here in just a second. And he's on the wrong side of the road once again. Oh,
so dangerous. All right, Stu, we're going to go for now as well. We'll keep you there and keep an eye on exactly what's happening. But again, this was a pursuit of a stolen truck suspect, but now the Sheriff's Department says it's just too dangerous. You can see the guy's going the wrong way right into traffic, and they have now pulled off.
Looks like he's on the bike lane there. If you want to continue watching this unfold, go to our website right now, kcal9.com. We're going to keep Stu's pictures up. You can see how this unfolds, and of course, we'll have the very latest for you coming up on KCAL 9 News at 4. For Sandra Mitchell, I'm Juan Fernandez. Thanks so much for watching.
Good afternoon, everyone. Sandra Mitchell along with Juan Fernandez, Stu Mendel overhead in Sky 9. And we're watching this pursuit of that white pickup truck. We believe it is stolen, and we believe the suspect behind the wheel has a gun. Stu, he's back. It looks like back on the freeway.
No, he's on surface streets. We're going to be basically southbound on Knott Avenue, Buena Park area. Orangethorpe was the last major. That freeway we just saw, when you actually went under it, that was the 91. Sheriff's Department, they brought their helicopter back. They were watching it for a little bit. They got some of their units behind it. And I say some, there's 2 right there. That's going to be the black and white, but there's also an unmarked one right behind them right there. Those are the Ford Explorers. Sheriff's Department, that seems to be their vehicle of choice. Great truck for what they use it for, there's no doubt about it. Now this suspect, he has been driving very erratically, but right when the pursuit started up again, he was pulling all those old tricks out of his hat, cutting in and out, basically pushing his way through, wrong side of the road, high speeds, U-turns, backing into the officers, right there, going across the median. We're still on Knott, going oncoming traffic, looks like we're, well, westbound on La Palma. So we're going to be in the Buena Park area. Take a look at the officers. They are keeping up with him this afternoon. They basically made that same maneuver that this guy was doing when it was safe, lights and sirens. Right now, though, this truck is moving at a little bit faster than a little bit faster than surface street speeds. So he's probably going about 50, maybe, let's just call it 50 right now. Deputies, they have re-engaged the pursuit. This earlier on, he was doing 80, but look what he's doing right now. Center divider, wrong side of the road, going across that median. Very dangerous for the public. They gave him that opportunity. When I say they, I'm talking about the Sheriff's Department. Deputies, they basically said, we're done. This guy's too crazy, it's too much of a danger, we're backing off, let this guy just calm down and whatever. He didn't. He just kept on going, kept going the wrong side of the road, kept making these maneuvers. They've basically brought the pursuit back on. They're worried about the public safety. This is a stolen vehicle, driver possibly armed. Right now, we're working our way out of the Buena Park area, still in Buena Park, but working our way westbound. Deputies from the Sheriff's Department right behind him and a helicopter over above.
Yeah, earlier this afternoon, Stu, we were watching this pursuit unfold. As you mentioned, the sheriff deputies pulled away, basically letting this guy go for a while, and we were watching from above. Even with that happening, this driver was still driving very erratically, as you see right here, on the wrong side of the road, driving in the center median, running red lights, running stop signs. And sheriff deputies are now back in pursuit. So my guess is they always knew where he was at all times.
Well, definitely they were probably keeping an eye on what was going on. We just saw an attempt at a spike strip there on La Palma. He just made a southbound turn. I believe it's going to be on Walker. We'll get the correct street here in just a moment, if it's not Walker. Made a southbound turn, but deputies are out there with spike strips trying to throw some down as he was on the wrong side of the road again. His speed's definitely picking up out here this afternoon. Stolen vehicle. Southbound on Walker, wrong side of the road, high speeds. The deputies are they're saying this very clearly. They're trying to make this very well known. Making another westbound turn out there, possibly on Crescent. Still I believe we're probably, if we're not, we're just going to be on the border of the Buena Park area. Sky 9 moving around. Sorry about that move, guys. Basically, we're making a spin there, but we're basically on Crescent right now, making that move wrong side of the road. Deputies still in pursuit, lights and sirens. So that, at least that's a plus. At least they're going to be giving the public, the people out there, at least a heads up that something's coming around. Usually when you hear those sirens, you'll start looking around. Running another red light right there, using that center lane. Stolen vehicle, extremely dangerous for the public this afternoon. Streets not packed, but definitely crowded. We're in the La Palma area, and we're staying on Crescent westbound.
And on the wrong side of the road for quite a ways there, Stu. He just keeps going.
Juan, it seems like people are hearing those lights and sirens. Every now and then you'll see cars pulled over to the side of the road. So that lets you know that the people, there's some right there as well. They're hearing the lights, they're hearing the sirens and doing what they're supposed to. And then, but this chase is going, whoa!
Oh, that was so close.
Yeah, and that was a bus. So you got to wonder. I mean, what kind of people were on that bus right there? It seemed to maybe one of those elderly transports. Luckily, it seems like no contact was made, but shows you how dangerous this is. He has not stopped for any type of controlled intersection at all. Another red light right there. You can see him wrong side of the road, basically passing the vehicles that are going the correct way, but not even trying to blend back in. Gonna get a little bit wider because I gotta wonder whether there they are, the deputies. You gotta hand it to those guys. And there you go, another deputy out there basically controlling that intersection, warning the public. That's about the only thing they can do right now to keep the public safe. That being their greatest concern. Second, and a big one, get this guy into custody. Look, wrong side of the road, making a hard turn. And I understand we're on North Boulevard. We'll get the street here. and making just spinning underneath Sky 9 again this afternoon. Hope everybody's taking their Dramamine. But it gives you an idea what the sheriff's department, because they're basically orbiting over this thing at a very low altitude. So that's basically what the observer. You got a helicopter pilot, and then you have an observer. That's what the observer's looking at this entire time. He's following this guy, and then of course keeping an eye on it. There's about a bunch of cars coming up right now. I just heard the sheriff's department call that out. There's another solid red, a lot of cars in the intersection, making that turn, blending back in.
Boy, Stu, all you have to think about is you got to pay attention when you're out there. A lot of people don't know this is going on, and thank goodness the driver of that van or that bus was paying attention. Oh! More close calls.
Yeah.
It's getting so dangerous. You wonder if they won't pull back again.
You know, the way this has been going, I don't think they will. You got the officers right now, one of them basically following right behind them. That was Carson, so we're making a turn, a southbound turn off of Carson right there. This is back into a residential neighborhood, but a busy residential neighborhood right there. You can see a lot of cars in this neighborhood basically making another turn right there, and the units that were basically trying to intercept now coming up on them. Very, very dangerous situation. Another solid red as we're working our way through the intersection. But deputies are back westbound on Carson, so this is where he was earlier on. But it just shows you how many officers are involved. And right now, yes, they're involved in the pursuit. Are they right behind him? No. This is a very coordinated effort. A lot of these deputies are right out there basically controlling traffic, trying to warn the public that this lunatic, this person behind the wheel is going to be in the area and driving the wrong way, high speeds. And right now you can kind of see him still on Carson. We're going to be in the La Palma area. Whoa, 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 check that out. And I understand we're transitioning to Channel 2 right now, and this pursuit continuing. A lot of traffic, a lot of crazy maneuvers this afternoon.
That's right, Stu. We want to welcome our CBS 2 News viewers. We're interrupting programming to bring you this live pursuit happening right now in the Buena Park area. This is a stolen truck, we understand, and we've been watching this unfold for more than an hour or so. This is a driver driving very erratically, driving on the wrong side of the road, at times driving up to...
Oh,
there
that
we
looked
go.
like a collision.
Oh, yeah.
Looks like that was a side swipe, Stu.
Yeah, definitely. There was definitely some paint swap going on there. And, you know, luckily that's all. This truck, very, very heavy, and it's moving extremely fast. Sheriff's Department right behind him again. You know, this person, obviously no concern for any type of life or limb. And he has been driving so dangerously. Westbound Carson Street. And you can see him wrong side of the road, weaving right now. Almost looks like he's like weaving for some of these cars. Deputies, they're right behind him. There, of course, there's a helicopter from the Sheriff's Department as well. Another major intersection coming up here in just a moment. I'm hearing them talk about traffic in an intersection, so you got to wonder if these people have any idea this is coming. They just went right through it. At least he got back on the right side of the road. Look at the number of people on the sidewalks. Also, you know, they're out there. They might be hearing this coming. It might be something to see, but also so dangerous. We've seen this guy up on the sidewalks, driving across the center dividers and across parking lots. So this guy doesn't seem to care. 55. He's coming up to a lot of traffic on another red light. We're going to stay a little bit wider, but you can see westbound Carson in the Lakewood area right now. A lot of traffic. Looks like he's choosing to go across that median. You can see that sheriff's vehicle right there. Oh, what a great car, that Crown Vic, just driving right across that median. Oncoming traffic, at least he's choosing to get back into the right direction of travel. A little less cars right now, but right this time of day, traffic's really starting to build, Juan and Sandra, and you just got to worry about the public. What's going to happen? This guy desperate to get away. Deputies desperate to get this guy into custody.
Yeah, this is the afternoon drive now, Stu. We're getting close to that 4 o'clock hour. Of course, we are going to see heavier traffic, and I'm glad to say I haven't seen a lot of pedestrians out there in crosswalks or crossing an intersection or just being out on the sidewalk, because this guy has hit all three. He's crossed through crosswalks, he's jumped on the sidewalks, jumped onto medians, he's used those left turn and right turn lanes like nobody's business there, and here he is making another turn, just trying to avoid that heavier traffic that's starting to build, and once again, here he is in that center lane.
That's right. You know, we were on Carson. We just made a southbound turn onto Woodruff. We're in the Lakewood area. Sorry about that movement. I'm trying to read our map. We're in the Lakewood area right now. If maybe getting into the Long Beach area. Apparently, he's doing something that I can hear them talking about. We're definitely going to be in the Long Beach area right now, southbound Woodruff. Apparently, he's doing something on the driver's side. I'm trying to get Timmy's attention, my pilot this afternoon, get to take a look on the driver's side. Apparently, he's doing something. He's been throwing things out the driver's side. I just got that confirmed. Okay. So southbound Woodruff in the Long Beach area, but this train pursuit has been going on for quite some time. If you're seeing this for the first time, this is actually calm, what he's doing right now. Very light traffic right now, just kind of on the correct side of the road. Sheriff's Department in pursuit. Possibly armed driver, and this possibly stolen vehicle. Look at the number of deputies involved in this chase right now. And also, you got to know there's a lot of coordination going on. The Sheriff's Department getting a hold of Long Beach right now, letting them know this is coming into their into their city.
Yeah, it looks like they might have.
Are on now too, Stu. And so he's changed that about.
You know. Yeah. He earlier on when he did some of that off-roading, I saw those hazards come on. Don't know what that's all about. Possibly he bumped the hazard switch inside the car, but definitely the hazard's on. I don't think he's trying to help out in any way. This guy doesn't seem to care about anybody except himself this afternoon. You can see how quick this vehicle's moving. When he hits those bumps right there, getting a little bit of air, didn't get the wheels off the ground. Long Beach area, we're going to get you some street names right here. It looks like we're coming up onto another major intersection. Looks like he's getting a little bit lucky. Seems like, whoa, I was going to say looked like he had the green, but he doesn't. Looks like we're making a northbound turn right now. This is probably going to be Cherry. We'll get the name of the street for sure. Making a northbound turn, but we're very close to the Long Beach area. And you know, Long Beach PD knows that this is going on. Sheriff's Department, they're the ones that are in this chase. Looks like he might be going back on the wrong side of the road. Nope. Into another residential neighborhood. And every time, Wardlow, we're basically back on the Wardlow right now. This guy not slowing down. We have not seen this vehicle stop ever since we've been over this chase. The closest we've seen is when he's put it into reverse, but this vehicle has never come to a stop, even when no officers from the law were behind him.
And Stu, we've seen them try to use those spike strips at least a couple of times, and so far those have not been successful. He's moving at such a quick rate of speed that they just aren't being effective right now.
It's a dangerous situation for the deputies. What they're saying is that you got to throw that spike strip out in front of the vehicle. There is a little bit of safety involved. You know, there's some distance, but this guy's driving so erratically. Those deputies, they're not going to put themselves into that kind of harm's way where they're going to put themselves in front of a heavy pickup truck that's known to be driving erratically. We've been on Wardlow for a while. You just saw the sign. We just crossed Lakewood. In the Long Beach area, though, this is definitely in Long Beach. Sheriff's Department, you got that one unit getting very close. Are they going to do the pit? Well, if they do, it would be something to see, that's for sure. The Sheriff's Department usually do not use that pit maneuver. Looks like we're making another sharp turn into, I would almost say, the Long Beach airport area. I know this area pretty well. This is over by what used to be the old air flight, but this is a dead end. Either that or he's going to push his way onto some...
Boy, this is something we don't want to see.
Sorry,
Yeah, he gets out and gets into the airport. That's going to cause all kinds of problems, too.
Definitely, and that's the sheriff's airship area right there. A bunch of helicopters on the ground waiting to join this type of chase. That's what I was trying to check right there. There is a way back onto the road. That's what he chose. I was very hopeful he wasn't going to make that kind of move where he was going to get onto the airport. That would have been something entirely different. Right now, though, making those crazy moves. Another spike strip in the area, but not effective. And you can see the him pulling that deputy pulling that out of the way, squeezing his way back onto Lakewood Boulevard, and working his way into a lot of traffic. Southbound Lakewood, that's not correct. I'm looking out the window. But
over the median.
Looking at cross over the median.
Wrong way. Here we go again.
That's right, and I'm taking a look. You've got the light just changed, so you got a bunch of cars, but you can see the lights and sirens are effective right there. These other vehicles starting to move over. They probably hear those lights and sirens, not looking for a pickup truck going the wrong way. But we're southbound and coming back onto another major. Look at all the confusion out here. And this is where you got to worry. The civilians just driving. You got this pickup truck driving crazy. This guy moving it so quickly. Oh my gosh,
yeah,
just crossing Spring.
It's so difficult to watch this, Stu, but yet we can't look away. I mean, this guy just doesn't care.
He does not. That's the reason why, probably one of the reasons why the deputies re-engaged this chase. This person not caring about anything, and we're going to stay a little bit wider right there to see where he winds up. This is going to be interesting for sure.
Is that a tunnel?
Yeah, it's a tunnel underneath the runways right there. Just going to make sure that he doesn't pop up. Now, this is a tunnel, wrong side of the road. There he comes. Oh, thank goodness. I was so worried that he was going to make a collision in there. That was the runways for Long Beach Airport. So now we're continuing southbound. We're definitely going to be in downtown Long Beach here very shortly. But you can see, wrong side of the road, high speeds, Sheriff's Department still behind this vehicle. And they've got to bring this to an end. Hopefully, nobody's going to get hurt, even that knucklehead behind the wheel this afternoon.
All right, let's bring you up to date on what's going on. You're looking live at a stolen truck pursuit. The call came in just about an hour and a half ago, and this is a driver behind the wheel. We believe, from what we can see from Sky 9 and Sky 2, that he is alone in there. But there are reports that he has a weapon. He is driving up over the sidewalk, over the center median, wrong way, against traffic so many times this afternoon. A number of minor collisions. It looks like he's sideswiped a couple vehicles, but we're really worried about the possibility of a head-on collision.
And luckily that has not happened. And earlier, Stu was telling us that he was seen throwing something out the driver's side window. So we don't know exactly what that is. Sometimes those are some sort of distraction tactics that the driver thinks that sheriffs are going to stop to pick that stuff up. That's not the case. They are still in pursuit right now. And Stu, as far as we can see, he's still in the Long Beach area?
Still in the Long Beach area, southbound Lakewood. He stayed on this road. Now, all of a sudden, we're at that big roundabout out here. Going to see which way he goes. He's got a lot of choices. Looks like he's going to westbound, and this might be Pacific Coast Highway. We're going to get that here for you in just a second, but definitely going to be going westbound, and you can see a lot more traffic. This is an area of Long Beach where the traffic gets a little bit thicker, making a U-turn out here. Maybe he didn't seem like he didn't want to get on that street, so he's going back over to that traffic circle once again. Look at the number of deputies that are right here, and of course a lot of those are right behind him, but a lot of these will break off of that chase and basically parallel and try to get the public's attention, try to warn them what's going on. Back over to the traffic circle right now, and we're going to figure out which one he takes. But it looks like we're just going to be coming back around, and it does look like we're going to stay on PCH, Pacific Coast Highway, moving along, just going the opposite direction now.
And Stu, you were telling us earlier, sheriff deputies do not use the pit maneuver. Is that something that the CHP pretty much just uses exclusively?
Well, it depends on the law enforcement agencies. We know LAPD does do the pit maneuver. Okay. The Sheriff's Department, let's just say if we see them do the pit, it'll be very unusual. They're going to want to bring this thing to an end any way they can at some point, especially if they feel that it gets to that point. Right now, though, the truck is basically slowed down quite a bit. This has been going on for quite a while. Don't know how much gas has been in that truck earlier on. A lot of officers, deputies, excuse me, right behind them. Take a look. A lot of doors have popped open. It gives you an idea what's going through these deputies' minds. They're getting ready. There you go. His door open as well. He's joining the pack. Basically, he's just kind of coasting, hands out. You know, This is the type of thing, you've risked so many lives all along, and now all of a sudden you're just going to comply.
Hit the brakes, buddy.
Letting his truck, just letting it kind of roll to an end out here, south on Pacific Coast Highway, right by Lakewood Boulevard. Now all of a sudden he just wants to give it up, and you can see hands out, deputies, guns out. Wow. This is no joke. After a chase like that, they're going to want to bring this thing to an end. Obviously, he's complying, at least doing what they're telling him. If not, maybe he's done this many times before. This is not a new trick for him. But deputies, they got their guns out. The truck has finally stopped. The driver out, now walking on the street backwards towards the deputies. But what a chase this afternoon. Gone through so many counties, so many areas, and just to see this guy get out and basically go into custody.
Oh, Stu, it's the best possible ending from what we've seen this afternoon. This was so dangerous, hundreds of lives put at risk. So to see him being taken into custody, I can tell you, it's just a big relief.
Definitely, and you know, Sandra, you know, looking back on this whole thing, obviously that truck made some contact with a couple of other vehicles out there. So people, obviously the public was definitely affected. It was very interesting to watch from a media perspective how the law enforcement handled this chase. Basically earlier on, extremely high speeds, crazy driving, and how they did. They backed off for a little bit, giving this guy the opportunity to basically just give himself up, and he didn't. And the chase continued. Deputies now from multiple stations, it's what's called clearing the vehicle, making sure nobody else is in there. But Juan, Sandra, you just got to think how many people affected this afternoon, how many close calls, and of course, that's a stolen vehicle. Somebody's going to be getting their car back.